Series 1, The Patriarchs, Foundations of the Promise. Part 11, The Birth of Isaac, God's Promise Fulfilled. Genesis 21, 1-3, 5-7, KJV. And the Lord visited Sarah as he had said, and the Lord did unto Sarah as he had spoken. For Sarah conceived and bare Abraham a son in his old age, at the set time of which God had spoken to him. And Abraham called the name of his son that was born unto him, whom Sarah bare to him, Isaac. And Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born unto him. And Sarah said, God hath made me to laugh, so that all that hear will laugh with me. And she said, Who would have said unto Abraham that Sarah should have given children suck? For I have borne him a son in his old age. At long last the promise that seemed impossible is fulfilled. Sarah conceives and bears a son in her old age, exactly as God had spoken. Abraham is 100 years old, and Sarah's barren years are over. What God promised, he has now performed. The child is named Isaac, meaning laughter. This name carries deep significance. Once, both Abraham and Sarah laughed in disbelief at the promise. Now Sarah laughs again, but with joy, declaring that all who hear will rejoice with her. What once seemed unthinkable has become testimony to God's power and faithfulness. This birth is not only a personal blessing for Abraham and Sarah, but the unfolding of God's covenant plan. Isaac represents the chosen line through which the promise will continue, pointing ultimately to Christ, the true seed in whom all nations are blessed. The lesson is clear. God's timing is perfect. The promise came not when it was humanly possible, but when it was impossible, so that the glory belonged to him alone. Delay did not mean denial. At the set time, God visited Sarah and his word stood firm. For believers today, Isaac's birth is a reminder that faith rests on God's word, not circumstances. His promises may seem delayed, but they are certain. Just as Sarah declared, Who would have said? So too does God work beyond human expectation. The laughter of faith replaces the laughter of doubt, and the joy of fulfilled promise testifies that nothing is too hard for the Lord.